Welcome, replay viewers. Happy Wednesday night to everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Welcome. Hi, guys. Happy Wednesday night. Hope you all had a good day. We are finished our day here, thank goodness. Hi, Jessica, Vicky, my dad. I just thought I would pop in here this evening and share a little writing activity we did today that I thought was kind of cool and that you guys could try if you were interested. Again, I am Not Before 7 and I blog and Periscope and have a Facebook page using the handle Not Before 7. All right. Yay, you're here live tonight. All right, here's what we did. I am working with two young ladies doing a writing class. And sometimes it's really hard for me to remember all of the things I learned from Julie Bogart at Brave Writer. If you have not looked up Julie on Periscope and Facebook and her blog and her website, she is just a wealth of language arts and writing information. So I try to remember that the point is not always the end result. It's not the paragraph or whatever activity I'm assigning, but it's playing with language and playing with words and adding tools in our toolboxes as writers that we can draw from later. So I wanted to go over with these young ladies metaphors and similes. And of course, you know, we do a little bit of metaphors and similes every year. So what I did this year, instead of just diving in and trying to play around with actual metaphors and similes, is I did a little warm-up brain activity just to get us thinking about comparisons. And I had 6 kids here, and I had everybody write down 3 nouns on a piece of paper. Actually, they all wrote 2 nouns because that was plenty. So we had things like the mall, a journal, whatever noun they wanted to come up with. Piano, they weren't really told what they were for, but everybody wrote a noun down on a slip of paper, 2 nouns, and we put them all, table, into a little basket, and they were all in there. And then what I did is I set a 2-minute timer, and I drew out 2 nouns. And they had 2 minutes to come up with as many similarities between those 2 random nouns as they could possibly think of. So of course, the first one that we did was, oh, I'm sorry, is everyone having a bad connection? I wonder if it's on my end. So yeah, tune in, I guess, on the replay if the connection here is really bad. I'm sorry, Jessica. But I will tell you that then we had everyone write down as many similarities as they could. And the funny part was that we first picked sock and computer. Those were the first 2 nouns that we had to try to find similarities for. So it was sock and computer. And I was really impressed by how many we came up with. So I just thought I would share a few just to give you an idea of how it worked. So let me find the photo. I actually took a photo of the kids' list up on the board. So here are some of the similarities between a sock and a computer. They are both nouns, as if that wasn't the obvious one. They both can be black. They are both in a house, this house. They both have the letter O in the name. They both go with something, and they were thinking like a computer has a mouse and a sock needs a foot. I want new ones of both. So I would like new socks and I would like a new computer. They both help us. You can pick them both up. You can draw pictures of both of them. They both end in an S when they're plural. You use your body for both. You have to put your foot in a sock and you have to use the keyboard, your fingers on the keyboard. And we use them daily. So there were actually a lot of similarities between a sock and a computer. And we did this 2 more times. So we did it with, oh, I forget the next one. The next time we picked out, let me see if I can tell by the, oh, a table and a piano. There was actually a lot of similarities between a table and a piano. That one was a little easy, and we had a big list. They have legs. You can eat on them. They both start with 5 letters. They're wood. They can be brown. You can crawl under both. You can sit at both. They are both hard. They're in this room. You can perform tasks at them, all that kind of stuff. And then our last one we did was an iPad and paper. That was kind of cool to compare. So this was just an exercise to stretch their brains and to start thinking about comparisons. And what I told them is that writers, one of our goals as writers is to surprise the readers. We don't want the same comparisons we've always had. When you're writing a metaphor or simile, you don't want to compare it to something that everyone can think of. You want to stretch your mind a little and come up with a comparison that maybe people haven't thought of, but they go, wow, yeah, that's exactly what it's like. So we didn't actually even write any metaphors and similes using what we did. It was just a little activity to stretch our brains and to just be thinking about how objects can relate to one another. And then I actually found a place online where we read some really funny, hysterical analogies that kids in high school had come up with. I mean, one of them was like about somebody fell off the 12th floor of a roof like a hefty bag filled with vegetable soup. So we talked about, oh, and one of them was about the boat floated peacefully across the lake like a bowling ball wouldn't. So we just looked at some of those silly ones and talked about how it doesn't have to be the ones people are expecting, like your love is a red, red rose. I mean, you know, can you come up with something else love can be? So I'm hoping to do a little more with that next week. I found a few songs that use some good analogies and just to talk about these comparisons. So that was my idea for tonight. Just a fun little activity to stretch your brain, and you have no control over what you're comparing, so it makes it a little more of a challenge. All right. I hope everyone